all here. I always find it wonderful when I try to go live and I click the live button and then it eventually says we're online. So hopefully we are online now. It's good to see you all here today. As you could maybe hear, my voice is just a little bit straggly, a little bit rough after this last few days. But it was well worth it. We raised $1,630 for the Emergency Dean Fund at the University of Illinois, so it was awesome. All right, nice to see you, my friend. So I won't be quite as suave and sophisticated with my voice today. Yesterday, after the marketing marathon, I made it like my voice disappeared after about 10 minutes. So those who don't know that are watching this, on Tuesday, April 14th, I did a 15-hour and 43-minute marketing marathon where I went through the Principles of Marketing class all the way through. We're raising money for the University of Illinois Emergency Dean Fund to help out students in need. We raised $1,630, so thank you everybody that helped out. And I see that I already have a bad signal. It worked really, really well. But today what I want to talk about is really their social media marketing mission statement. The stream is down, I think. Has it popped back on? Man with a plan? Because I'm still getting your guys' stuff. Yeah, so it's showing me some things. And now it's looking at what I'm seeing for you guys. I'm getting different stuff because it says the stream is excellent condition, but I'm seeing like the jumping stuff. So let me know what you're seeing so we can try to work on that. There we go. Some things are back. All right. I'm also thinking that probably since I don't have the plug for this computer, we're probably having some issues. Luckily, this social media marketing mission statement lecture is relatively quick. There's only like 10 or 15 slides, so it won't be 15 hours. I'm glad it's back now. It won't be 15 hours. It's probably about 20 minutes. This is one thing. My students that are watching, this is what you're going to be putting on the very top of your project. When you do your digital and social media marketing project, this is what goes on top because the social media marketing mission statement really gives guidance for a firm for what they should be doing in all their social media. Like, what should we be posting? What shouldn't we be posting? What's the personality we have? And these kind of things. Dani, olá, tudo bem? Estás no Brasil? Muito bom. Estou feliz que está cá. Good to see you, Donnie. No, but when we're looking at social media marketing, it really is, the mission statement, it really is just a guidance kind of thing. It's kind of like when you look at mission statements for companies, it just gives us guidance. What should we be doing? What are we going to focus on? And that's what happens here, okay? And so when we start looking at things, well, I'll bring this a little bit closer so it's not as I pull things and the computer falls off. Yes, I need to get some better stuff. See, I moved the computer, now I've got a bad signal again. Gotta love it. Gotta love it when you're working from home. Oh, man. It goes down intermittently. Fantastic. Hopefully, when they get this back and they edit it back together, it'll be okay. No, but if we look at it in terms of social media marketing mission statements, we really have to think about is, what do you want your firm to be known for online? I mean, like when it comes to Wendy's Twitter feed is known for roasting people, right? I mean, you make a comment about it or anything like that. Wendy's like, burn, like, hey, my girlfriend doesn't like Wendy's. What should I do? And they're like, break up with her because she's obviously not good enough for you. They have some pretty good things like that. But really is they know what they want to do on their Twitter feed. They do answer other questions, but it does have that personality you want to have. And so you look at that. And some companies, we look at what we want to do online, and it really can be, look, we just want to be there to help, or we just want to use that for customer service or things like that. You got to think about it that way. And then the next thing you want to look at is, who do you want to reach? Who are you trying to speak to through social media? Is it your customers? Is it your fans? Is it your employees? Is it your community overall? I mean, there's a lot of things you have to think about because it's not just like, oh, it's for anybody. No, because you just talk to anybody. Ever walk down the street, there's these people talking to themselves. You're like, no, Hamza, I've said multiple times, it will not be due till May 5th. I sent emails. Original emails was May 1st, and then we've moved it back to May 5th, okay? So don't worry. You got plenty of time to finish this part. That's why I kind of pushed it back because I know everybody needs more time, and we're still going through stuff, so we have all these things. So Hamza, don't you worry. You got plenty of time to do this. You've got 3 weeks, so you'll be fine. Yeah, math event, May 5th. Thank you. In case the signal sucks. And Hamza, send me an email So I'll send out an announcement again to make sure everybody knows. So we have that. So thank you for bringing that up. Thanks. Now, plug in, man. My lovely and talented wife, and amazing and spectacular. So hopefully having the extra boost will help, but looks like not because I plugged it in and my light went to red in terms of my stream strength. So fun stuff. You see, this is why. This is why I like recording the videos, and then I know that's not going to be dropped off. So then I know you guys all get all the information. Whereas I do this, there's always other things that happen. I'm sure you'll hear a barking dog and things like that. So who knows? But just overall, starting with that social media mission statement, just realize it is the reason why we're doing things. It's going to be that overall guiding light for people. Yeah, we might go a little bit off it, but overall, what we're really trying to go for. That is what you want to do with your social media mission statement. Okay. And so, see, because now I'm getting the bad strength again. I'm telling you, my kid's got to be online or something. Anyway, when we're starting to consider, when we're developing our social media mission statement, there's a few things we really have to think about when we want to get into it, okay? One thing you want to really look at is you want to make sure that your social media mission statement is really ideal. And when I say ideal, I mean, think about it. It should convey a clear and compelling picture of what the future should hold for all social media posts. Like, look, this is what a good post would be. This is what we're trying to idealize here. You know, like for me, I'm always trying to be like honest advice and stuff like that. So no matter what we put up there, it needs to be honest. The stream is down again. Yeah. Gotta love Comcast. I mean, it's 2 o'clock. See, everyone's on. Kids are doing their stuff. They shouldn't be doing their stuff. Is anybody on the phone?
Nobody's on the line.
So it's just Comcast's fault. Thanks, Comcast. I'm glad I pay the extra money for the business lines too, you know. That's what's fantastic. Oh, if you get the business and you pay like double, you get to have this. And I'm like, yay. So thanks, man, with the plan. Anyway, so when you're looking at kind of like, because the thing is, when you do this mission statement, it's like any mission statement. You do a mission statement for a company, it's always a nice, ideal, perfect world kind of thing. You're doing the same thing here. And you know, in the real world, you don't get to do the ideal thing every time. Social media does the ideal thing every time, but at least gives you a guiding principle, okay? So you want to make sure it's ideal. Also, when you're looking at a social media mission statement, you want to make sure it's inspirational. So make sure it's appealing to everyone who has a stake in the social media mission. So whether it's the Twitter people or the Facebook people or whatever, those things are going to be available for them, and it's going to work for them, and it means something to them. Like, I understand how I'm going to influence this. Mr. Blonde, so you can actually hear us here. When you do business with contests, it's a win-lose. Yeah, exactly. They win, you lose. Yeah, Comcast, the first time I got them, it took them like 4 months to find my house. They said, oh, it doesn't exist, until I threatened to take an axe and chop the Comcast box that's in my backyard. Then they had somebody come out. And then when they put it in, the person knocked on the door, like, every dog was away, everybody's waiting. They just like knocked like that on the window and ran. And I heard him. I ran to the door. The dude was already back in the van. I'm like, hey, dude, where are you going? So I despise Comcast because they're horrible and they lie and they treat us. I don't even go in. I don't even want to go into it. Don't even go into it. Anyway, let's see. Do you have a market test? Do you have to market test the social media posts to make sure they're communicable? You can, but I think the more posts you get, the more you learn. You start to see in the analytics what is really clicking with people, because that's what you start to see. Is like, you know what, clickbait. I don't want to put clickbait out, but it actually gets people to click, and they actually do stay. So that's where you kind of think about it in terms of that way. I mean, over time, you kind of learn what works best. Okay. Now, next social media mission statement is you really want to be focused. Okay. You want to make sure that it is, it should be clear enough that people can really make decisions over it. It's not like, instead of being too broad, like too ideal, like, yes, it will make the world a better place. Yeah, I don't know when I'm supposed to tweet about that. It's like, or post about that. Like, oh, we want to make the world a better place and a sustainable thing when we're focusing on, you know, paper towel management. Hey, so how to use your paper towels better? I don't know. Anyway. So you want to make sure you kind of built in some flexibility to this. And for my students, I think when you put that social media mission statement on the top, the beginning of your project, what you might want to do is like, look, this is just an overall guideline. This isn't like a hard and fast rule. It's more of like guidelines that we think you should be doing overall. This is what you should be shooting for with your posts. Okay? Things like that. Now, yeah, stream's down again. Yeah, and here's the thing, there's absolutely nothing I can do. Everybody's off the internet, everybody's up there and up. I know, man. I think may have the plan. I think you should have like two shortcuts: down, up again, offline again, up again. So you just because I want you to get carpal tunnel type and all those things in because it's like down, streams down again, streams up again. So it is that. Anyway, and then when I look at the communicable side of your social media mission statement, it's really it can be explained in a relatively short period of time in a really short period of way that everyone can understand it. So you don't make it too much. Like I will tell my students, when you're writing your social media marketing mission statement, 2 to 4 sentences. That's it. Because that you want to make sure it gets concise down, people can understand it, and it's kind of like your elevator pitch. You don't have 10 minutes to tell people what you do. You've got 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So that's 2 to 4 sentences to get it across. So make sure kind of thinking about that when you're developing your social media marketing mission statement. Okay. Now, if you're looking at kind of like overall brands, realize that companies have their own missions, and then we have brand visions, which are the kind of the mission statements for the brands, right? And so we kind of think about that. It's like, wait, how do we take those overall mission statements and kind of fuse those in with our social media marketing mission statements? Because you think about it, the social media marketing, the brand market, or the brand vision, the mission statement for the whole company. They've all got to be going the same direction. You can't have it where our mission is to be the most helpful, kind company in the world, and then you're roasting people on Twitter. That doesn't make sense. You got to make sure everything's kind of in the same order. And so if you think about it, Coca-Cola is refreshment, right? And so, but you have to ask this, look, is our social media showing that? So I will finish this one and then we'll reboot this because if this keeps popping, I'm definitely gonna reboot everything when I get some time here. Should we do that and start this over, people? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, because this is getting ridiculous how it keeps falling off. Yeah, I know. It's funny because we were right there the last time before. So here, we'll do this. We'll walk through the house. We'll try to get closer to where we're going, to where we need to be. We'll see what works. We'll see what we can do. Excuse me, dog. As I fall over myself. Don't mind my Pause for the World shirt. If you have a organization that needs help to get through, they can actually online and set things up, and they can rate for themselves to $10 per shirt or things like that. Goes to whatever organization that needs it. So you're trying to help people trying to help companies get through these tough times. Let's see if we can get this thing working again. Oh, hey, are we theoretically back? Oh, brother, please let me know if I am back. Because I see myself on my computer in the live feed. You're on. Oh, man. So what all did you all have? Because I turned off the computer all the way, rebooted the computer, rebooted the router, rebooted the stuff, and hopefully so far so good. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. So would you like me to start over from the beginning? Let me know. Because yes, okay. Well, Gui, you came on late. They're already here. Shall we start from the beginning? Do let me know. It's bedtime for us. Thanks, Celestine. The stream has been a disaster. It keeps crashing on me, and the thing doesn't work. Yeah, so Celestine, come in at about the 25-minute mark. That's when we'll get this working. Yeah, only problem is I don't have another Ethernet cable here, so that's the problem. I'm sure it would work a lot better that way, but I don't think I know I don't have any more Ethernet cables. So anyway, social media marketing mission statement. Hey, we're going to start from the beginning. Is that okay? Let me know if everybody's on here. This one does have an Ethernet jack. I've had to use it before, so there is that. Anyway. Okay, so looking at overall social media mission statement. For those of you who are here for the first 15 minutes, this 20-minute lecture is now going to start all over again. So we'll see how long this goes before we have more issues out there, okay? Now, when we're looking at the social media mission statement, you really got to think about is what do you want? Sure, Liam, you can have my phone. There you go. I'll have to send an email telling my students, look, go to the 25-minute mark. All right, so social media mission statement or social media marketing mission statement. A lot of times it's pretty much the same thing. What do you want your social media to be known for? What are you trying to do with it? This is what you have to kind of think about, okay? And so when we look at it that way, you know, like, what do we want to be known for? Like I said before, Wendy's, their social media is known for roasting people, right? So we have that. Like our stuff, what do we want to be known for? Oh, honest travel. So we do for our travel stuff. And Professor Wolters, what do we want to be known for online? It's helpful marketing advice. So we have that. So the man with a plan, welcome back. I'm just going to start at the beginning because all that stuff kept crashing all the time. So I've rebooted computers, I've rebooted router, I rebooted the modem, everything. So hopefully we'll have luck. If not, I'm sorry. But we're going to review that little beginning part that we had there in the beginning. Okay? And so when we're looking at that, we really want to be seen as, what do we want to be seen as? Because sometimes you'll see, like, wow, their social media team is so helpful. It actually makes people like your brand more. Like for me, I do, I love my buddies at Delta because on the Delta Twitter feed, like I don't have a relationship so much with Delta with email or phone, stuff like that. But with their Twitter team, we're like best buds because we'll chat for a while and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, if you're like, oh, I got a question with Delta. I'm like, oh, well, let me just think it. Trying to get this to tip, but I won't. I just want to get it so I can dang it. I was trying to get it so we could have a better angle here. It's very fast and clear now. All right. Good. Trying to get things a little bit more human. I mean, I know all of you enjoy looking up my nose. That's the one problem with this Dell. The camera's down at the keyboard, not up at the top. So that kind of sucks. Anyway, so social media marketing mission statements. Basically, what's your reason for being when you're online? We're looking at those kind of things. All right, and so we also want to think about is who do we want to reach with our social media? Because once you have it kind of laid out who you want to reach, that makes life a little bit easier. Because think about it. On Twitter, who do I want to reach? On YouTube, who do I want to reach? On TikTok, I mean, think about it. If I'm Coca-Cola, I'm definitely looking at different people on Facebook than on TikTok, and how am I going to advertise accordingly? How am I going to run my social media platform accordingly? We kind of think about those things. And so when we actually come up with these, true, Eric, the system might be tired after the marathon broadcast. That is true. You all, with your social media mission statement, you really want to kind of think of it as just kind of giving yourself guidance for what you want to do. But for my students out there, you develop the social media mission statement for them to give them guides, for their social media posts. So they kind of know what they should be talking about in their posts. Because sometimes you're like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to talk about. I mean, how have you been there? You're like, you get asked to speak at a wedding. Like, what am I supposed to say? I'm like, well, I don't know. That's why you have to look, give me some boundaries, give me some ideas, and then you can come up with stuff. And that's what your social media mission statement really does for you. So you do have that. Now, the social media mission statement really explains why your firm is on social media. And the thing is, you can have a social media mission statement for each platform you're on, which is fine. Or you can say, overall, we want to be known for. It depends on you. So for my students, I would just do one social media mission statement for them and go from there. So you have that. Yeah, so the man with the plan says, on Facebook, I might be looking for more business clients, but on TikTok, where something would mainly be with young customers. Exactly. That's exactly how it is. And that's why analytics becomes so important. You look in there and go, oh, now I see who's watching there. I didn't think this is what it would be. People are always surprised when I say over 50% of my audience is 19 to 29. They're like, what? Young people listen to you? Well, young people are smart. They want good information. So they get ready for stuff. So we have that. So it is nice. Anyways, so you kind of do that. And when you're developing the social media mission statement, and you know what, when my voice comes back, I'm going to film all this in those 5-minute videos so we can have much more of an in-depth kind of thing. But I know my students are trying to get their projects done, so we're going to go through this way. When we look at these social media mission statements, really, you got to consider a few things when you're developing it. One thing you really got to think about is, hey, how do I make it ideal? Like, it's like a perfect world situation kind of stuff. If all of our posts could fit into this category in this perfect way, it'd be great. Now, it doesn't always work out that way, but that's why when we look at mission statements for companies or brand visions for companies or for brands, they have look, this is what we want to do. Sometimes we veer off the path, but in general, we have the general direction we want to go, and so we do that. Okay. And so when we're looking at being ideal, you want to make sure that we're, conveying a clear and compelling picture of what the future should hold for all social media posts. Like, look, this is what you're going to be doing. This is what we're going for. That can kind of help out that way, okay? And going along with that, the social media mission statement really helps you to, think about it in an inspirational sense. Think about how it's going to be for anybody that's going to be posting social media for your business, because it could be a lot of people. I mean, if I look at it for Wolters World, like I post, my wife posts, right? And so we have different accounts. We're doing these things. And think about how do things go, and I might look at it, look, if I have business content, that won't go on Wolters World. That go on Professor Wolters. Like sometimes you're kind of looking about these things. So that's why if it's travel related stuff, it'll go on Wolters World. If it's business related. But what if I want to talk about the effects of the pandemic on the airline industry? Would that be Professor Wolters or would that be Wolters World? And this is where you're kind of seeing, it's like, wow, this could be one that could go either or. You could do both. And so you kind of think about these things. Okay? Now, another thing you want to think about with your social media mission statement is really you want to have it kind of focused. Like make sure it's clear enough that people can really make decisions based on it. Because the thing is, like, we're like, oh, talk about everything. Really? Everything? So we can talk about paper and we can talk about, oh, look, a hard drive. No. You want to make sure you're kind of limited down to kind of say, it's like, look, our social media mission statements is focused on honest travel advice and living abroad, right? So all that's going to go there. So that means that, look, I'm not going to talk business on Wolters World. I'm not going to talk politics on Wolters World. I'm not going to do those things because it doesn't really fit, okay? So we kind of think about those things. And that's why it's important when you're developing the social media mission statement that you really do make it flexible. Because if it's not flexible, you get everything has to fit in this box. It's kind of like you already know what people are going to say. I mean, that's how come you can always tell if you're dealing with a chat bot versus a person. Like their answers are kind of standardized. It's kind of like whenever you look on YouTube channels, and they're like the first comment's like, great content. You should have more subs. And it's from Tom or something like that. Yeah, these kind of things, it's a robocall because it's too rigid, right? So you want to have that flexibility to do some things in there. So give it a little bit of flexibility in there. And also, you want to make sure that your social media mission statement is communicable. It can be explained in a relatively short period of time. So for my students, 2 to 4 sentences for that social media mission statement. That's what you want to do, okay? Because you're doing that, 2 to 4, it's like your elevator pitch. Like, look, we've got people that are posted on here. We got people posted on there. We can't have a 20-page explanation of what you should do when you're posting. Just have an overall guide, like an overall idea what we're trying to do. Oh, okay. And that's why I say is sometimes you'll have different social media mission statements by platform. And so you might have it where, like with Wendy's, you go on their Facebook page, it's like a normal Facebook page, but it's their Twitter feed that has the roasting going on, And so you kind of think about that. Now, this is where we left off last time, 30 minutes ago before this thing turned into a disaster. I'm sorry, my students that had to watch that beginning part, and anybody had to watch that beginning part. It was frustrating for us all. It was very frustrating for us all. Actually, what would be nice, I'm moving my screen over so I don't look at myself because I keep staring over there, and you're like, why does he look? Because again, the camera's down there. It looks really weird. Anyway. So if we're looking at this social media mission statement, you got to realize your overall brand has a mission. The brand vision. We talked about that in another course. You're looking at your mission statement just for the general company and what they're trying to do. There's a lot of different things. Yes, the master plan. The post should be relevant and concise because the thing what happens is, and I'll talk about this later in content, if you post things that are not relevant, 1, to your audience or 2, to your brand, people are like, why are you here? That's why you'll see when celebrities start talking politics, people kind of tune them out. You're like, dude, I go to watch your movies, not to listen to your politics. I don't listen to your science. I want to listen to real scientists. You have this kind of stuff out there, and that's where it kind of turns people off, okay? And yes, and you always want to be concise because think about it. We scroll through our Instagram. We scroll through our Facebook. We scroll through Twitter. It's got to be at a short, digestible bite. That's why you'll see CNN. They'll have articles that just has like 3 bullet points at the top for the main points because people aren't reading it all. So short, concise points, there you go. Can really help out. Now, if you think about things like Coca-Cola's brand mission and mission statement overall is just basically refreshment. But the thing is, we look at it as like, how do we refresh via social media? Well, we can't really give them the drinks on social media, so maybe we can do something that's refreshing. What's refreshing? Oh, good news, funny stories, happy things. Yeah, that's kind of a refreshing kind of thing. It kind of goes with it. And so what Coca-Cola has for their social media mission statement, they talk about, look, let's not just listen, let's converse. Okay, so what they're doing in their social media is different than in their brand and their products. Since our brand is a drink, well, let's try something different. Let's try to converse with our clients, see what they're doing, let them talk, which also gets them to share their content and share them drinking Cokes and stuff like that. So we have those things popping up, okay? And the thing is to do this, we really have to have an understanding of our clients. All right, you have to think about why are they on social media? What are they doing on social media? How are they using social media? How are they engaged on social media? Because, I mean, when we had our comments yesterday, there's a lot of nice comments. A lot of people were on there. Mantha Plant was on there, and Mark Finley, and Gui, and MGH97. There was a lot of people that were on there, and they were commenting quite often, which was really nice. Adventure travel and planning, they were on there a lot too. That was cool. But then, like, today I got a bunch of emails from students that said, oh, I hopped on for a little bit to watch. Thank you for doing this. I'm like, oh, that's really nice. I'm like, I wish you would have said hi, So it's kind of funny that way. But, not everybody engages with comments. I mean, how many of you out there that are watching this aren't commenting because you're like, I don't want Mark to call me out. I don't want people to know my Twitter name or my YouTube name or something like that. I mean, these things happen. So you have to think about that. And we start looking at why people on social media and different things. Like I've had people, like when we did the marathon, people were like, hey, I got back on Twitter just to write you. I'm like, wow, you got back on social media just to say thanks? That's cool. So you have that. So you might look at it as why they're on social media. Is it to find out stuff? Is it to just share things? Is it for them to, have their 15 minutes of fame? That's going to be different stuff you're looking for. And so if we're looking at our audience, like, for example, if we're a gym, right? What are people looking for? And so why are they on social media now? Because they're bored. They're doing nothing. We're just going to the pantry and eating like crazy. And so what have you seen? A lot of gyms are doing, like our YMCA here in Champaign. They have Facebook. On their Facebook, they're doing live workouts in the morning and the afternoon. Why? Well, they look at us, hey, who are our users, right? And what social media do they use? They use Facebook. I mean, it's the average age of people at the Y. When I go there, I don't feel very old anymore. It's not like when I go to work and I'm like, my God, I'm so old. I go to the Y, I'm like, hey, I am middle-aged. I'm okay with that, So it's kind of a different thing. And so that's where Facebook works for them. Whereas trying to do it on YouTube or something like that probably wouldn't, because it wouldn't get to have as much of the personal kind of thing with it. So you have to look at those things. And we really want to understand what our audience also wants from us. What are they looking for us? Like the YMCA, I'm still paying my YMCA bill, but they've been closed for a month. So I'm like, well, why am I still paying for this service? It's like, look, there's things we can reach out, we can help you and stuff like that. So, and that's where you're having business, especially like subscription services like YMCAs and gyms and stuff like that. They have to justify, why should I go? I mean, I've seen that with our patrons and our especially our YouTube members on our Wolters World thing. We've lost like 50 members in the last few weeks because people are like, look, I want to help, but right now money's more tight than helping you out. I'm like, I understand that. And so you see those things. And so we look at this, what can we do to help out? What can we give back to our clients? And so for us, we did like the Whiskey and Wine live feed last night, and we were doing another one on Saturday, and we were doing things like this on Professor Wolters, so we can have things like that. So really kind of know these kind of things, how people are using their social media, why they're using social media, in what way they're using social media. That will be really helpful. And make sure when you have questions that people are asking you, make sure you know the questions they're probably going to ask and then be ready for them. It's kind of like when I was doing the marathon. I knew there would be certain questions like, look, people want to know why we're doing it. So that's why we had the link over here most of the time. The link below that we had most of the time was exactly the reason, was because we knew people would hop on and be like, what's going on here? Oh, it's to raise money. Gotcha. We need to make sure we're answering those questions, okay? And again, just make sure you realize that you might have a different mission just based on different platforms. Now, the next thing I want to say is, like, if you look, Forbes magazine actually had some decent recommendations for social media mission statements, like things to think about. And we've covered some of it, and I'll cover some of it later as well. But I thought it was nice to kind of, I'll use that Forbes name to be like, oh, real world people, Mark, not just an academic. That's right. We find real relevant stuff too. Now, so one thing that's really important is identify the kind of emotions you want to evoke on social media? Like, what are you trying to get people to do? Are you trying to get them to be happy? Are you trying to get them to think? Are you trying to get them to like open their eyes? I mean, that's what we really got to think about, because creating emotional reactions is what's going to get people to kind of identify with you. Oh, that's a happy channel. That's, I mean, people always say, people are like, how do you stay so positive? I'm like, I'm a positive person. I want positivity in all my videos and all the stuff we do. And so like, so the emotions that I want to evoke, I want to evoke happiness. I want to evoke positivity. I want to evoke like, I can do this. So whether it's traveling around the world or learning marketing or whatever, I can do this. And so that's one of the things you got to think about, is you want to focus there. Now, if you going back to Wendy's and their Twitter feed, what are they trying to evoke? Oh, they're trying to evoke the roast, like, ooh, you got them. I mean, they have to burn people. So that's their big thing, okay? Now, again, like we talked about before, Forbes was saying, know and understand your core objective. Again, what do you want to get people to do? Are you just trying to build goodwill? Are you trying to get people to be more excited? What are we really trying to do? You want to do those things out there. So make sure you understand that. And also think about it in terms of what value are people going to get out of it. Like if I think of like my travel channel, what's the value people get out of my videos? Like they're not vlogs. You're not seeing me do cool stuff like jumping off bridges and backflips and drone footage. So what's the value I'm giving them? Well, I'm giving them the value of, here's honest travel advice that you're going to use when you're there. Like, oh, so the value is I'm helping you prepare, right? And so there is that. Now other people do a great job. And they're like, look, here's me doing the backflips in Bali, and that's fun, and that brings value to the audience because they find the entertainment side of it. But the thing is, you really have to think about is, what is that value that we can consistently deliver on social media time and time again? Because, it's like you can have one video that gets 1 million views, but it's not going to make you a lot of money. You need multiple videos with millions of views to get you some money, right? So you have to think about that. Now, another thing I think, and this is another one of those things where Wendy's has done very well, is when you're doing your social media, you really want to think about is, how do we humanize our brand? How do we make it like a person? I mean, think about when you say Walt Disney World or you say Disney, like you envision this happiness, you envision maybe Mickey or something like that, but there's definitely like these humanistic characteristics of Disney. It's wholesome, it's family friendly, it will take you down if you try to mess with them, these kind of things. You have that kind of feel to it, right? And so you kind of think about these things. And so think about it as, hey, what do we need to do? And remember, when you're developing any relationship, you become good friends with people because we've consistently had a good time with them. We're paying off that friendship, right? And so we have to think about that in terms of, okay, what are the human characteristics we want here? What do we need to show that we're doing that? So that's why we answered tons and tons of questions on all of our feeds, right? Just to be able to say, hey, the Wolters World brand, whether it's me, whether it's Liam or Caleb or Johnson or somebody else right now, whether there's anybody else out there, like what they should be looking for. Hey, I want to make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, we're all on brand, because that's where you have problems. Things go off brand. You're like, did someone else post that? It's kind of like whenever you ever get a Facebook message or something from one of your friends, you're like, that doesn't sound like you. And you're like, oh, you probably got hacked. And you're like, text them, hey, dude, I think your account got hacked. So things like that. Man with a plan, do you think using a mascot could help humanize your brand like Disney does with Mickey Mouse? Yes, it can, especially if it's such a huge brand, like so many people working there. And that's the thing you got to be careful, because like Apple, the human image of their brand was Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs passed away. And now what is Apple? We're trying to capture Steve Jobs. That's why some companies try to make it so it's like some other animal that can kind of, or a person, or like Flo. Like you could have Flo, but it's now there's Flo and there's Jamie too, right? And so like, oh, we can have like these type of helpful people with your insurance. And so you can do things like that. Now, I don't say everybody does, not everybody needs a mascot or something like that, but sometimes it can help. And that's why you'll see like with Wendy's, it's not the real Wendy that's doing that. They just have a red-haired person that'll pop up and be the representative Wendy in commercials and other things. Okay. Now, another thing that's really important is when you're looking at your social media mission statement and your social media overall, is make sure you define and keep your social media topics. Like, these are the things we're going to talk about. And you actually lay it out. And so like Man with a Plan, you might look at it in your project. You'll say, look, here's the topics you should talk about. Here's the topics you shouldn't talk about. Sometimes you draw that limit. Like, some people will get on we had a bunch of trolls when we had the marathon. I don't know what was up with that. Thank you to Mark and all our moderators for helping out. Not me, Mark Finley, who's on here. but it was just like, my God, what are they all there? I mean, and so like those ones you kind of know, but sometimes people will comment on things and they're like, well, should I have banned that or not? I'm like, look, there's certain topics I'm not going to go into. I'm not going to talk about politics. I'm not going to questions about politics. Forget it. I'm never going to go in there. And and the people ask about guns in America. I'm like, I'm not going there. Like you have these certain things. So you define those key social media topics that you're willing to talk about and focus on those. Don't go off of them. Okay, that's what we're saying. Is like you want to be kind of like give them the ideal stuff that we want to be talking about. Okay. And the thing is that when you lay out your mission statement and in your whole social media plan, which we'll talk about at 4:00, you're looking at basically just laying it all out there so it's as clear as possible, because the people that work on social media now might not be the same people that are posting a year from now. Because for a lot of businesses, social media marketing is kind of one of their more entry level kind of stuff when you're putting things in. It's like if you go work for Pepsi, they start with you stocking the shelves. So you get to learn these things. And over time, I mean, the head of Coke is not stocking shelves anymore, right? And so, but we want to kind of have these things like, look, whoever's going to be following on after you leave, they need to make sure it's the same voice, it's the same brand, and same kind of social media experience happening. So that's why you want to make sure it's pretty crystal clear. And so if we look at it, some social media mission statements overall, like, I mean, I'm giving you mine because some companies hide theirs, they're kind of internal, but here's some things I have. So Wolters World, this is for our YouTube one. Wolters World uses YouTube in order to educate travelers on the do's and don'ts of travel in order to help promote sustainable, culturally enriching, positive travel in an honest way. So what are the kind of videos we're going to talk about? Anything that deals with culture, right? It's going to make you understand your travels to that country better. So that will be, the food in that country, how to talk to people in that country, how to meet people, the sites and stuff like that. But also, couldn't you see me doing 10 facts about this country you're going to go to? Yeah, that kind of works too. It fits in there, right? Then also you see positive. Okay, so am I going to get on there and start bashing some of the other travel bloggers, make videos like, these are the 5 worst travel bloggers ever? No, I'm not going to do that. We're going to be positive. I'll do one like, hey, here's 5 travel bloggers you should really be looking at. I'll do those, but I won't do the other way. And so you have to think about that, right? And then we have the travel in an honest way. So that means, how does that honest fill in? You have to fill these things out. So that helps guide what we do. So Professor Wolters' Instagram goal. I'm still working on the Professor Wolters' Instagram. It's not great yet. The switching back and forth is just pain. But Professor Wolters' Instagram goal is to spread fact-based, positive visual content relating to marketing and business strategy. So infographics from reputable sources, leadership quotes, things like that get people going. Like, okay, that's what's going to fit in there. Okay, now the YouTube for Professor Wolters would be different. But for the Instagram one, it's all about the visual content, okay? And mostly like short video, or it will be, pictures kind of stuff. And so you really need to look at is, what do you want your platforms to do for you? Or what do you want to do on those platforms when you're developing these social media mission statements, okay? Now, if you think about it, when we look at the kind of the mission statements for brands and companies overall, we really see it's like, wow, their mission statement really does influence like our social media. Because you think about like Patagonia, their mission statement: build the best product, cause no unnecessary harm, use business to inspire, and implement solutions to the environmental crisis. Okay, so knowing that's what it is, what are we going to be doing on our social media for Patagonia? I mean, if you think about it, we're going to have definitely environmentally friendly stuff we're going to show on there. So we will have some stuff for environmental causes. We'll talk about what we're trying to do to help the environmental crisis. We'll have that. We're going to show our people using our products in sustainable, good ways. We're not going to show people wearing Patagonia stuff, spray painting, like national monuments. We're not going to have that, right? So you kind of see, it's like, okay, now I see. Because, sometimes people have to have the counterculture, kind of like make people shocked about what we do so they notice us. Patagonia and what they're doing, like that wouldn't work for Patagonia. Patagonia's like, look, we're trying to help save the world, man. You got a problem with that? You got a problem. It's like the people that were coming on and trolling us on Tuesday. I'm like, look, you're trolling us when we're trying to help out students in need. You are worthless pieces of poo. Okay, so to think about that. JetBlue, to inspire humanity both in the air and on the ground. Okay, so if JetBlue is looking to inspire humanity both in the air and on the ground, that means in our social media, we do not have to limit ourselves to talking about travel and flying. We can talk about preparing for flying, how to enjoy, a place you might already live and stuff like that. Okay, I see what we can do there. Okay, and so LG, life is good, to spread the power of optimism. Oh, so now with theirs, now they're really opening it up because LG's like, look, we have so many different products out there. We're trying to spread optimism and everything. So hey, all of our posts need to be optimistic and positive and stuff like that. Maybe we should go for a sponsorship with them. So what I'd want you to do as a class, and this is one of those classes where, how long did I actually talk about this? We've been on for what? I don't know. It doesn't show me. My voice is dying. 49 minutes, yeah. So this would have been probably a 30-minute long class if we didn't have the mess ups. But what I would have here is with my students, I would assign them this work, and we would look at their either company and say, hey, let's look at their social media platforms. Look at these things. So if you're here and you want to learn about social media mission statements, you want to develop your own, well, here's what my advice would be. 1, look up 3 companies you admire and see if you can find their mission statement and their social media mission statement or strategy. And what you'll see is when you find the mission statement for really good companies that you're like, wow, you really do follow through with that. Then you find their social media mission statement, you'll see that it might not be exactly the same, but it's relative. They're going like the relatively the same direction, right? This one's going here, this one's going there, but we're still going forward, right? So you're going to look at that. Next thing I would ask people to do is look at the social media platforms the firms are using. What do you feel their social media mission statements would be for each platform? And that's where you would break down, like, what are they doing at these different places? So for, Professor Wolters, I would say, the YouTube channel, it's about learning, right? And so it's all about, honest learning, marketing, basics of marketing, business learning kind of stuff. That's where we'd be doing that. And of course, now we have bad connection again. Luckily, it's the end of this chapter. Now, we would have that. Now, another thing you want to think about is if I look at the Instagram one, we already talked about that, which is the visual kind of stuff. Facebook, our Facebook mission statement, we don't have anything. It's more like, that's where it fails, because it's just like, I just put stuff up there occasionally. That's a place to throw Wolters World YouTube videos. Another way to reach, to get the videos out. Probably not the best way to use it. We need to think of different ways to use that. And so that's what you have to think about. It's like, look at their social media platforms. What are they already doing? What would you think that their mission statement is for that? You might say it's like they don't really have a mission statement, a social media mission statement for that platform. That does happen, sadly. YouTube has not received enough video to maintain a smooth stream. I love Comcast. They're so fantastic. Anyway, what I would say is when you're looking at these different platforms that your companies are using, do you see any differences in the type of content, the tone they use, different stuff like that? Because like Wendy's, their Twitter versus other stuff is very different, right? And so you start to see that. And so that's why, for like colleges, like you have kind of you have the Geese business page, there's a Geese business administration page, there's a Geese, admissions page. They're all kind of going the same way. Like you can all tell they're kind of from the same company, because they're kind of going the same way, but they have all kind of slightly different voices. So you might look at that, okay? And so then what I would have you do is develop your own social media mission statement for your company you're working for, because that will be in your project, okay? So, the video's still working, just a little choppy. I do hope is the audio working? Oh, wow, my video just totally disappeared from me. Anyway, so that's what I want to kind of talk about with social media mission statement, just to give you an idea of what it is and how we kind of develop it, and then you develop it for your company. So we do have that. I'm going to log off for now. We will be back in an hour because my voice is about to die anyway, and we're going to talk about social media plans. Okay, so thank you for coming. I will send out an email to my students. There'll be a new feed that will pop up at 4 o'clock or a little bit before 4. With the, I'll probably turn this one off, then start a new feed to talk about for getting that ready for that one. So we'll have that, but I got to send an email to my students telling them start at the 25-minute mark because we had issues. Hopefully that will help. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining up. Looking forward to talking to you again here shortly in an hour. And